Now to our Race in Chicago series and the mental health challenges people in black and brown communities face. It's not always easy for men of color to share how they're feeling, but one man has found a way to change that. Christian Farr takes us into the healing circle.
In a place called The Quarry in Chicago's South Shore neighborhood, the sound of African drums fills the room during a very special gathering.
It's logical for you to pick up a gun, mentally, but it's because of that same trauma that you haven't dealt with.
On a weekly basis, this healing circle of mostly black men comes together for what could be described as a group therapy session.
There's a mental health movement. People talk about depression, anxiety, and self-care, but there's a particular part of this conversation that black men have been left out of.
Dr. Obari Cartman came up with the idea.
I'm always surprised how open and transparent men are ready to be once the space is provided, once they feel safe.
By adding the drums and the slow, calming movements of yoga.
It was never the fact that because I watched my mother go through abusive relationships as a toddler, that my mental health would be wrapped around and warped.
Dr. Cartman is able to help these men open up about possible trauma that may have led them down the wrong path.
This is a safe space. Nobody's here to get me. And once you do that, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions come up and come out.
Once the beat of the drums stop, the deep discussions begin. And Dr. Cartman says one main issue is the impact of violence on the mental health of this community.
When you talk one-on-one, people will tell you the story. They say, I've been abused and I'm sad, or they might not use these languages, but you can hear it in the story. But when they're in the street, it funnels all of those emotional, traumatic experiences into anger, and then the anger turns into violence.
For me, prison was safer than it was out here.
Dr. Cartman says the healing circle can help change that repetitive cycle.
We need to just pause for a moment, and these circles give us that regular, consistent space to do that.
Dr. Cartman says that these healing circles are very beneficial to black men, but he says that access needs to be increased on all levels, from location to funding.
We need to invest in space, we need to invest in time. It needs to be normal that men come together and talk.
In Chicago's South Shore neighborhood, Christian Farr, NBC 5 News.
We really appreciate the access we got to tell this story. Thanks to Christian.